Alright, here's the story. It's been almost, or maybe even a little bit over 10 years since I hung up my wrenches in a way because I met this old guy who had health issues and I put everything on hold so that I could help him live out the remainder of his days. Well, that time has passed, and the inevitable day of when I'm going to have to go back to work is quickly approaching. And that's why I have been going hell-bent for leather on this car, because it never fails when I start working, especially if it's twisting a wrench. I never want to mess with my own stuff, so I'm trying to get as much done as I can, even though I'm fighting against the clock. The whole time I have been saying, I know I'm getting close to the line when I have to take my big crayon full of change into the bank. And as you can see, it's all loaded up and ready to go. How much you think that sucker can hold anyways? Let's find out. So let's do one of my favorite things to do. Take a ride in a Z. Might get a little wind effect because we're rolling with the tops off. Let's see what happens. Alright, I was crunching the numbers this morning about how much it would have cost if I bought all the panels out of the catalog for the Le Mans. And I settled on a number of about $360. So had I not done this, I'd have been making this trip a couple of weeks ago actually. But I remember looking at a picture of the floor pan complete and thinking, what do I got around here that looks like that? And I remembered that dented Sable hood that was on the far side of the shop. And I thought to myself, yeah, I can do this. And the more I got into it, the more doable it became. So I just kept going. I wasn't going to do everything that I did to the inside, but as long as I was there and still waiting for the gas tank, what the hell? Now it's to the point, it's almost to the point where I'm actually ready to try and do something with it. The last big project is to look at the brakes, because that thing's got drum brakes on it all the way around, and I'll bet right now maybe only 1.5 wheel cylinders pushing on the brake shoes. So that's got to be dealt with no matter what, because that car's got manual brakes with drums all the way around. Even in its best working condition, unlike this thing, it's a bitch to stop. And conventional wisdom would say that somebody should buy 4 new wheel cylinders and put them on there and just be done with it. They're relatively cheap. It'd probably come to under $100, but that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull the wheels off and start popping the brakes around with a hammer until the wheel cylinder breaks loose, and then I'm going to put the drum back on it. Hope they settle out over a little driving time. Will it work? Probably not, but I gotta give it a shot, because those wheel cylinders were brand new before it got parked, and the brakes were working about as good as they ever had. So I got to give it a try. But more than likely, at least one of them is going to start leaking, if not all. But that'll buy me some time to shake it down, find out what other things need to be done to it. Because I can only afford to do so much. That's why we're making this trip in the first place. But I totally plan on keeping on making videos. But instead of my own stuff, it'll be work that I've managed to pick up along the way until I settle on whatever it is the hell I want to do here. But I better come up with something in a hurry. Or find me some pretty woman that really likes racing and is a sucker for a low sweet tone. So if anybody ever wants to do the crayon experiment, it came out to $458.63. It takes about 3 years to fill one. And just by coincidence, it happens to be just a little bit more than we used to make scrapping cars every day. Back when cars were cars and the price was at a premium for steel. After we paid the truck back and paid whatever expenses went into that load, it usually come out to around $400. And we generally try to do that twice a day. Just to give you an idea of the life I've lived up till now. Was that good money? You're damn right it was. Between two guys, we could bring home between $1,000 and $1,500 a week. And some people aren't set up for making money like that. They get into all the wrong things, which isn't so bad when you can afford it. But when the bottom falls out of scrap and nobody wants your steel, now you got a problem. But I won't get to do that because scrap ain't what it used to be. And I doubt it ever will be again given the nature of today's modern vehicles. So I'm going to have to start fixing the pieces of junk or get in some factory and keep my head down and keep my mouth shut. Because every time I get in a place like that and work as hard as I can work, all I get is more work, more aggravation, and never any more money.